and a good morning. And now you are tuning again to the basic concept of IT. Okay, starting this week, we have a special guest to be with us in our radio Conti. Okay, let me introduce to you one of our lecturer in Faculty of Information Technology and Multimedia Communication, Encik Mohamed Dhiauddin bin Muhammad Suffian. Assalamualaikum Encik Dhiauddin.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay. For this hour, okay, we are going to discuss about our topic on revolution of computing. Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, before we go further about the revolution of computing, can you share with us about the definition of computer itself?
Okay, thank you, Siti. First and foremost, of course, a computer is a device that is used to compute, at the simple way we say it. But looking at the term specifically, computer is an electronic device operating under control of instructions, have its own memory, accept data, process data according to specified procedures, and also store it for future use. As we can see, computer consists of five major things: input device, output device, system unit, storage device, as well as communication device. So input device is actually a device that allows you to enter the data or instruction into the computer, whereas for output, it conveys or display the information, process data from the input device and process it, display it to the end users. As for system unit, it is actually I would say a case that contains the components, electric components of a computer, where we use to process our data. And of course, storage device is used to store the data that we input or instruction input to the computer, and also communication device allows us to communicate between each other from one computer to another computer, or from one computer to another device through a communication medium. One thing that I must say here, that when we talk about computer, we should understand about the concept of data and information. So we cannot run away from discussing about this. What differentiate between data and information is, data is actually a collection of unprocessed items. It's a raw thing. So it can include text, numbers, images, or audio, video. So when this data is processed, then we say it and display it to the user, then we say it as information. Or in other words, we say that information convey the one data that has been processed into a meaningful way to the end users. So that's a brief explanation or summary about what is a computer.
Okay, thank you very much, Cik Dhiauddin. Okay, after this, we are going to take a look about the revolution of computer since its development on 1933. Okay, so stay around on iRadio OUM. It's a basic concept of IT segment on our radio OUM, roaming across your mind. Okay, thank you so much for still keeping me company in this hour. And now let's continue with our topic on revolution of computing. Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, can you please share with us just a brief explanation about the revolution of computing since its development in 1937.
Okay, there were so many things happen since the first inception of computer until today. From the big machine, very big machine, until a very small one where we can bring everywhere. So the key things started off in 1937, where Dr. John and Clifford Berry designed and built the first electronic digital computer. After that, in 1943, it moved during the World War II. Famous British scientist Alan Turing designs the Colossus, an electric computer created for military to break German codes. Then 1945, a famous man as well, John von Neumann, possessed in front of the electronic computer built at the Institute for Advanced Study. This is where our Neumann's architecture served as the first prototype for the computer architecture that we are using today. And then in 1946, that's where the ENIAC, or Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computers, was created, serving as a general purpose of a digital computer. And then 1959, we can see that about 200 programming languages have been created to be used to operate a computer. And also in 1969, this is where we saw the birth of internet, where the ARPANET network is established, which then grows as a internet what we are using today. Next in 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built the first computer, where we call it today as Apple computer. So that's where from Apple then moved to Apple II, and then in 1981 IBM took place, where they introduced the IBM PC. So that's where IBM made their presence into the the personal computing world. I would share this in 1982, about 3.275 million PC or personal computers have been sold worldwide. And then again in 1994, Apple introduced the Macintosh, latest version of Apple computer. And then in 1999, I would say the father of internet, Tim Berners-Lee, introduced the World Wide Web while working at the CERN, Switzerland. And in 1989, we saw that Intel 486 processor become the world's first 1 million transistor microprocessor. 1 million transistor microprocessor. So it can execute 15 million instruction per second. So about 4 times as fast as its predecessor 386 processor. So that's a first part of the revolution of computing. Maybe we can continue to quite a bit long journey where we to today's computer. Then we can continue to this.
We are going to continue the journey of revolution of computing after this. So stay around on our radio OUM, roaming across your mind. David Akalita, a little too not over you on our radio OUM, roaming across your mind. Okay, thank you so much for still log on to our website iRadio.oum.edu.my, and now you are still tuned into basic concept of IT with my guest today, Encik Mohamed Dhiauddin bin Muhammad Suffian, a lecturer from Faculty of Information Technology and Multimedia Communication.
Yep.
Okay, Encik Dhiauddin, let's continue with the second part of the revolution of computing.
Okay. Just now we stopped at in the year 1989. Okay, then in 1992, Microsoft released, if we all of you still remember, Windows 3.1. The Windows operating system from Microsoft, Windows 3.1. And then 1994, this was the year where we saw the birth of Linux, created by Linus Torvalds. He created a Unix-like OS to release it as a free OS, so that it can be enhanced by other programmers all over the world. And then 1995, we saw the birth of Java, developed by Sun Microsystem. And 1998, this was the year of Google's, where Google Files is on incorporation and started as a commercial company. And 2001, we saw Microsoft release its Windows XP. And Facebook, it was incorporated in 2004, followed by Mozilla birth in 2004 as well. The first Firefox web browser, and then another famous online community, YouTube, was founded in 2005, and in 2006 it was acquired by Google. So YouTube owned by Google starting in 2006. And 2007, of course, to those iPhone fans out there, 2007 was the year where Apple introduced the iPhone. In the first 2 days, it was sold around 270,000 first iPhone. And 2008, Google released its Google Chrome, its web browser. And in 2009, we can say that around 220 types of mobile devices were using Google Android, the competitor of Apple, the OS for mobile. And 2010, we would say that more and more usage of virtualization, either server storage devices, to reduce the cost for hardware and also for software. So that are the key events lah. I would say key events are related to the revolution of computing starting 1937 until today. And of course the journey will continue with more and more advanced technologies related to the computers.
Okay guys, after this we are going to continue more about the type of computer. So stay around on our Radio OUM and let's enjoy with this number by Adira Ilusi. Just log on to our website iRadio.oum.edu.my, and now you are still tuning to basic concept of IT with our topic today on revolution of computing. Okay, now let's continue with our topic today.
Yes.
Okay, as we see nowadays we have many type of computers, namely personal computers, mobile computers, and mobile devices, and we also have game console like PlayStation and so on, and server, mainstream, and then we have supercomputer and also embedded computers. Okay, can you share with us what are the difference between all these type of computer in terms of type, size, and the function of these computers?
Okay. Basically, these categories was classified by the industry experts out there. They categorize from the type of computer from personal computers and so forth. So of course, personal computer or PC, simply we say it, is a computer that can perform all input, processing, display, output on its own. Store data, retrieve data by itself. That's PC. As for mobile computer, it is a type, it's a kind of a PC also, but it can carry it from one place to another, and like tablet, and we have a special mobile device to cater for it, and also mobile software just to cater for this kind of mobile computer. And of course, a game console, as you said just now, we use it to play games like Xbox and Wii, PlayStation. So specific for games. So gamers like it. As for server, it is a type of computer that controls access hardware, software, and other resources through a network, and we have a centralized storage to store data, to store information, programs. This concept is applied to the web server or web-based application. So we need to have a server to access the application. And talking about mainframe, it is a large, powerful, expensive computer where it can handle, I would say, not just 100 but thousands of users connected to it in parallel, simultaneous. So of course, when numbers of users can access it, of course, numbers of data information can be stored and also can be accessed. Supercomputer, as the name says, I would say the fastest, the most powerful computer that can be used to solve complex, sophisticated and mathematical calculations. And last but not least, talking about embedded computer, this type of computer is I would say a special purpose computer that function as a component in a larger computer product. I would say the example embedded computer, like our ECU in the engine, in our cars. It's also an example of an embedded computer.
Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, we will continue more about the topic on revolution of computing after this. Okay, but guys, stay around because we have a lot of interesting info about the topic share with you on our radio UM. Then, let's take a listen to this number. Adam and Stacy menggegar dunia. Radio UM Roaming Across Your Mind. Okay, welcome back to basic concept of IT segment. Okay, now let's continue, Cik Dhiauddin, with our topic today on the revolution of computing. Sorry. Okay, since the existence of computer, okay, society have gained many benefit of using computer. Okay. In your point of view, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using computer that the user can experience when working with computers?
Okay. Of course, user is the one who communicates or use computer or utilize any information data processed from the computer. So of course, computer can offer many benefits, and we must not forget there is also disadvantages when using computer. Talking about the advantages, of course, computer can offer benefits like in terms of speed, reliability, consistency, storage, and also allow us to communicate. So user can perform their operations at the fast speeds. We can depend on the results generated by computer. Because computer can, I would say, produce an error-free results most of the time, and computer can store a big amount, enormous amount of data, and also we can share it with others, peer-to-peers through internet and so forth. But there are also advantages when using computers. Something like I would say health risk, like if you use computer too long, using keyboard too long, we will suffer RSI or repetitive strain injury that related to health risk. There might be a violation of our privacy when using computers. Also, maybe we can involve in public safety problems, and we talk about impact on labor force, since everything can be used through computer, so we don't need so much people to work. And also, to a certain extent, computer also can impact the environment as well. So that's I would say a brief benefits and also disadvantages of using computers.
Okay, since in the market, okay, we have various type of computers. Okay,
yeah.
In your point of view, how do these various type of computers user interact with computers?
Okay, usually we can divide this type of users into certain categories. First, home user. Usually, this kind of user is a family member or the home user that use computer for various reasons, but limited to their personal preference, like personal financial management, accessing the website, communicate, online chatting and so forth, and also entertainment. Second, we have a small office or home office, or we simply call it SOHO. Usually we talk about company with fewer than 50 employees, and usually use the computer to access the internet for their business purpose. And next we have mobile users. Talking about users that use the computer in the mobile environment, work away from office, typical office. It can be anywhere, but having computer to do their jobs. Another one is a power user. Usually they use computer to work with industry specific and deals with a bigger business domain or business problem to solve. And last but not least, we talk about enterprise user, where this kind of user works with a company with many employees and use a computer via a network to process a high volume of transactions. We talk about daily transactions. So that's enterprise user. To sum up, we have home user, we have Soho user, we have mobile user, we have power user, and of course enterprise user. Normal categories of users usually interact with the computers.
Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, we will take a small break,
Yes,
and we will continue more of this. But for meanwhile, let's take a listen to this number by Econ. Be with you. Stay with us on iRadio OUM. Welcome back, and now you are still listening or tuning to our basic concept of IT. Okay, still with me in our radio Conti is Encik Mohamed Dhiauddin bin Muhammad Suffian, a lecturer from Faculty of Information Technology and Multimedia Communication. Okay, Encik Dhiauddin.
Yep.
Okay, now we already come to our second last question for this episode of basic concept of IT. Okay, as we see, the computer has changed society today as much as the Industrial Revolution changed society in the 18th and 19th century. Okay, can you please describe how computer have made a difference in people interaction?
Okay. Of course, computer, since the inception of computers, it has changed, I would say, each and every aspect of our life. But for the purpose of today's discussion, I would just touch into some areas. I would start in education, where now students can use computers and software to assist with their learning, or like us, go for open and distance learning approach. As for finance, of course, we already seen and we have used it, I would say maybe daily or maybe weekly, through our online banking, and some people go for online investing. That's finance. Talking about how government utilize computers, we can see how they provide centralized information on the citizens' info, improve their service delivery to the public. And in terms of healthcare, we can see computers have been heavily used to maintain the patient records, to do monitoring of the patients, doing medical tests, research, and maybe assist in the management of the information system within the medical industry. Talking about science, of course, computers impact them a lot, where they use computers to collect, analyze, and model data and communicate the result throughout the world. As for publishers, of course, they use computers to design the page and make the contents attractive and make it available, whether printed or online. And we cannot run away talking about GPS, where this technology assists us a lot in travelling. And last but not least, computers are also heavily used in manufacturing industry. Usually we talk about CAM, or computer-aided manufacturing, to improve and assist the manufacturing process. That I would say how computers have changed different people to in interacting with each other, and even interacting with the machine itself.
Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, we will take a small break, okay, before we continue with our last question. But for meanwhile, let's take a listen to this number by Vince, Biarkan on iRadio OUM. Just log on to our website iRadio.oum.edu.my. Now you are tuning to the basic concept of IT, and our topic today is the revolution of computing. Okay guys, now we already come to the last question for this session. Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, can you please share with us why computer literacy is vital to success in today's world?
Okay, before I proceed to explain why it's vital, we should understand what computer literacy really is, or we sometimes we refer it as digital literacy. We are talking about computer literacy is about understanding the knowledge and how computer is used. So that's literacy. We also talk about certain level of comfort when using computers and also its application. So that's I would say what it means by computer literacy or digital literacy. So why we say it's vital, because as the technology changes, we need to equip our knowledge with latest computing technology. So because we believe that by knowing computers, understanding how computer is used, we can have a greater productivity of the workers. And of course now most companies are heavily dependent on computers, so we need people, we need resource that have skills in using computers. So other than that, I would say we can have, by having a literacy, we can develop knowledgeable workers, especially if you want to focus these workers to high skill computers like programming, doing maintenance. So we need computer literacy. And other than that, by having knowledge on using computers, actually we open ourselves to the greater opportunity. We can work in various sector. Other than that, by having a computer literacy, we can equip ourselves with the better control of our own knowledge, our own assets, because we know how to use computers. And last but not least, as I said just now, by having computers, we can computer literacy, we can help to contribute our country to produce various products, besides serving as provide ourselves as a human capital. Having a computer literacy, we can innovate new things by utilizing the power of computer. So that I will sum up our today's session on why we need computers and why we need to understand how it's being used, or computer literacy, so called.
Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, thank you so much for all the info and knowledge you have shared with us about our topic today on revolution of computing. Okay, next week Cik Dhiauddin is going to be with us again in basic concept of IT. If you want to know what is the topic that he is going to share with us on next week, okay, don't forget to be with us same time, same day. Okay, Cik Dhiauddin, thank you again. Okay,
welcome.
With that, we already come to the end of this week's episode of Basic Concept of IT. Okay, have a good day ahead. Till then, bye bye.